Hello, little update, just a short one before I go off and have my happy birthday party with the family. They're all here, grandchildren as well. Now, and everybody's happy. unlike how the gaslighting, bullying cartel project me, we have a pretty good family life. Now, so what I'm doing, I just want to focus on something. So what the latest update is that they created a hangout called the Secret Bully Cartel. I can tell by the name of it that it might be a bit of a no, don't want to make too much up. Well, I don't want to make anything up at all. There's a lot unknown, but anyway, so they set up this secret bullying cartel executive meeting. So I think they're messing with me a bit. And I'll just get, so this is the chat stream behind underneath it. So you can see up the top there. Oh, wait a minute, I'll do the screen share. This one, there we go. There it is. Right, now, I don't know whether you can see it there up the top, but what it says is the Secret Bully Cartel Executive Meeting. And this is the chat stream that goes. Now, they invited, you'll notice that I got some people blocked. I mean, these bullies, can't pick it up. Now, these bullies, the simple solution, given all of the complaints they make against me, is to block me and move on. But no, that's not their agenda. They're gaslighters. That's what they do to people. They like playing these psychological games. And so you become a bit of a toy object for them. And I've been that way for about 3 years now. And you might say, well, why don't you block them, Rob? And why don't you move on? Well, no, I'm not that type of person. I mean, if you bully me, I'll stand up to it. And if you lie about me, I'll want to give my side of the truth. So what happened was they sent an invite out to 29 people. And at one point, there was only 3 in the room. So maybe that's a message, guys, that you might be running out of steam. So Sydney turned on joining by link. So Sydney Winston asked the atheist, that's who we're talking about there. Sydney renamed the hangout to Secret Bully Cartel Executive Meeting. Sydney's actually running this and controlling it, setting it all up. Sydney added the following people: Chaz Wild, he's one of the gaslighters. Down Corner, he's another gaslighter, and 5 others to the hangout. Green Soul Sufi joined in. He's a guy that comes from Brother John's community. And he's a guy that just sits on the fence while he's a professional. He sits on the fence while bullying goes on under his nose. Scaife joined the hangout. Scaife is a dude that he's a minion, just a young kid that hangs around and all this stuff. Pseudo Aussie dude hanging around the group. Ooh, secret. So that amused him. Amused Scaife as well, lol. Now, this is something I made. Gaslighter Chronicles getting down on Sydney. So that's on my channel if anyone's interested in having a look at that. Bulldog added, so Bulldog's now involved. Bulldog 101, he's one of these gaslighters. So you can start to see that all of the videos that I've been putting together relate to these very same individuals. They're a group, a cartel, and they're starting to use my terminology, cartel, bullying cartel, and they're people that gaslight. So what gaslighting is it's a psychological attack on someone, psychological bullying, very sadistic behaviour. So Bulldog 101 added Sugar Roads and Toaster Grove 420. So what they're trying to do is get their community together and make sure that they're all on song and they have a strategy for getting rid of Rob or, dealing with him so that they can win this battle that they started. I'm not here. Now, what they're also saying is they're saying that they want to seek vengeance, or that I'm here seeking vengeance. That's not my nature. My nature is that if you lie about me, I want to correct that lie. And that's what gaslighters play on, because most people are of that ilk. So Sydney added Sandra Woodrow. Now, I don't know who Sandra Woodrow is.
Are you busy?
What?
Oh, we just did the Kris Kringle. I was going to tell you who you have.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks. I don't know this Sandra Woodrow. Now that I've got her name, she's a new person to me, so I don't know what her story is. But being that I'm the victim, I want to know who's who in the zoo. So if I go to G+, and if I do this, is that the lady? I think that might be her. She lives in Canada. Well, that would make sense. I don't know why she's hanging around the bully pack. So I'll just put that in the chat window. Because Sydney and a lady called Lindsay come from Canada. I joined the hangout. Now, this is Green Soul Sufi. So this is this behavioural something therapist, or whatever he is. Bit of a nong in my book. Not responding is a response. So I guess that's a really bad thing to do. I mean, if you get victimized and bullied, there should be some form of justice. He just says, walk away. Let them do what they do, walk away. And I know that these guys do it to a number of other people on the internet. And I'm not prepared to walk away. Bad form. And that'd suit these guys, because I think they've realised now that they're really up against it. So, Bulldog added Rose Patton, Trollololan, and 2 others to the hangout. So what they're trying to do is accumulate a whole bunch of people so that they can get a bit of an army, I guess, against me, little old lonely me. Now, Rose Scafie needs you. I do same for you, Amy. So that's Scafie. I don't know what he's on about. Sydney added St. Tommy. So St. Tommy's a Christian dude that really doesn't behave like a Christian, like a few of them on the internet. And Patrick Fester, Patman Fester, to the hangout. So Patrick Fester moved out like you effing said, Trump won, you're moving out. A bit rambly speech. I don't know who the hell he's referring to. Sydney added Brother John. Now, Brother John is a Daoist. And again, he's the type of bloke that, recommends that you just walk on by. When someone beats you up and, basically destroys your life, just let it go. Don't worry about it. But again, I'm not vindictive. I just want people to tell the truth. That's all I want. So this is me. Hey. Only 3 outcomes. So I'm just letting them know that there's only possible outcomes, because they're capable of a lot of things. So I'm just saying that the gaslighters leave. So in other words, they run away. They adopt the flight pattern. And that's that. Hello, viewer. None of the above. Bezo leaves. So this is the bullying thing. They just want to try and dominate you. They can't. So they then want you to leave and leave them alone. But they started this crap. and I'll leave if I choose to leave, or there's another option. And there's only those two outcomes, and in both cases, I win this battle, if you like. I may not get the outcome that I really want, which is these people to simply tell the truth, but I win because I've really brought the truth to them and really put it in their face time and time and time again. They can't escape that in life. That disconnect between the lies that these people tell, and that's what gaslighters do, and the real story, the real truth, they know both stories. They have to actually live with that now for the rest of their days. And I promise you, it doesn't leave you. It just doesn't. Anyway, so either way, I'll get I have a sort of a win or some sense of justice, but I'd prefer the true, proper justice, because in that, when people tell the truth, it actually lifts the burden off their shoulders as well. So it's a win-win situation. It really is. All right. Now, they say some wacky things down a little bit further, and that's why I'm doing this video. And so watch it to the end, because there's some interesting comments that they made that are rather bizarre. So I just wanted to make a record of them. And, we just see how things play out. So I said that Sandra will advocate me if the second option occurs. And these people will be afraid of her because she will win hearts and minds. She's an extremely intelligent woman. But not only that, she's an extremely good person. So they'll have no hope at all. So in that sense, they're going to lose. There's just no way they can win from here. None whatsoever. You losers lose. Sandra's word beats a pedo for pedo. So I'm referring to pedophilic-like, not necessarily pedophile, pedophilic-like behaviours of a guy called John May. That's him there, Bulldog 101. Everyone, I think, now knows where to get that video. And if you can't find it, go and have a look at my channel, and you'll find one of the videos in there has got this pedophilic behaviours. So in a contest, Sandra's good nature, wisdom, intelligence will beat this Bulldog hands down. Now, then I say night-night, Vegemite. We have kicked 2 goals. Okay, so what he's referring to there is 2 stays in a mental health institution. That's me. I hold the view very, very strongly that these people are the reason that I went into those institutions. I'm going to try my darnest to prove that point, as well as promote gaslighting as a negative human trait, a sadistic negative human trait. You have kicked none, 0, zilts. You are a failure. Now that in itself right there is a gaslighting episode, right? It just truly is. Because what he's trying to do is, psychologically make me feel like I'm a loser or a failure. Well, if he could see my family, he'd know that that's actually not the case at all. And you guys don't get it, but I truly am enlightened. I know precisely what that is. It matches all of the bloody studies. Now, am I right? 21. So at the time, there's 21 invites had gone out, and there was only 3 trolls up in the. I know they're trolls because they're blocked accounts, and only blocked trolls showed up. And see, unlike them, I do something about a problem. I don't go tete-a-tete with people, and all of my responses are a reaction to theirs. So they're always the initiator, the liar. So, I talk about bullshit. You invited nobody, liar. Well, of course I didn't. I didn't say that. And this is a phenomenon that I call fizzing. (101) when he's full of confidence, makes some really somewhat amusing bloody comments. You know, it can be, I call it rat cunning, but it can be quite amusing. So, but now he's down to these weak-minded midget. You know, that's something a junior kid at school would do. So I said, "Fizz goes the weasel." Laugh at that. Yeah, and I did. I just laughed back. Small man, small mind. So again, he's just trying to belittle me. So that again is it's a gaslighting attack. And I just said one mind, because the enlightened position is your understanding is held in common. So it's like you are functioning out, you know, off one mind. You don't. I mean, it's not like bloody spooky shit where you read thoughts and all that. It's got nothing to do with that at all. It's just that you see things in a common way. Then I said immovable, and that's actually true too. Why I'm able to last this long against these bully attacks is that I'm enlightened, so I have a very solid conviction about how the world functions and how people behave and why they behave the way they do. And saying that to him sort of teases him a bit, because his agenda is based on being the controller. It's an egoic thing, and he wants to be boss of the friggin' world or whatever. He says no mind. And then so to that I respond sometimes, because there are times when you just, you know, you shut the old brain down, and that's meditation. And I just said you wouldn't understand, because he wouldn't be able to relate to it at all. Now, this is Bulldog 101 again. He says, got moved to the psych ward. Ha, 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 ha. So, police removed you, la, 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 la. So what he's talking about is on the second occasion when they sent Mercy sent out a ambulance to pick me up. And for some reason, goodness knows why, because there was no violence in the house or none of that sort of stuff, they sent out a couple of police officers, which was really bizarre. But anyway, it wasn't a problem. Just jumped in the damn car and in the ambulance, because I don't argue, I don't cause a fuss. And off I went. I was disappointed because I didn't feel that I was psychotic. I just wasn't tending to my health, because I was getting so engrossed in dealing with these people. Well, not dealing with these people, but, you know, working on them to get them to come and tell the truth. So here we go. This is Sydney. Now, Sydney's a 70-year-old dude that sort of is part of this bullying cartel. And we saw at the outset that he was the one setting things up. So he says, rumor has it that there is a dude in our community with a guru complex, thinks he knows everything. And then this guy says, me, question mark. And I said, no, that is me. And I'm actually quite happy to wear that criticism, because that's what I say. I mean, you can prove me wrong, do it intellectually. Now he means me, so this guy's just saying, no, it's me. Sydney, prove me wrong. Time's a ticking, old man. Now, the point I'm making there to him, I'm trying to get through to him. You're 70 years of age. You're going to pass away soon. Same as me. I'm in the same boat. Well, I'm a bit younger than you. But we pass away. We only get one life. Spending your time bullying people is not the way to have a good, fulfilling life. Achieving the spiritual journey is. Now, for mine, I'm satisfied. I wouldn't look at another spiritual. I might out of curiosity, but I don't need to. I've finished the search. And it is really a good outcome. It truly is. Far better life than what these guys live. Yeah, Sydney proved me wrong, so that's why I was just echoing. I know your fate at the great passing, so I actually think I do know how things go when we die. And I got that from the Jesus teachings. Not the ones you get in the Bible, but this is from the real person. And if you live an egoic life, it's not a good outcome. It just isn't, because you've got to reconcile things. You know how they say people, want to find peace before they pass away. Well, fuck that. Find the peace before you pass away so that you can live that. Because when you get to the pass away point, your life's gone. You're not going to get it back. Wake up. So I hope you can understand from that. I'm actually trying to help this dude. Immovable got removed by police, and yeah, okay, we discussed that. Oh, hang on. This is probably the trolls ringing. Sandra's got it. Now, Bulldog says, sweet apple. No, Bulldog, I do know stuff, and I can communicate it, but the problem's not me, as usual. It's you. You just don't understand. I know plenty, trolls. And then I said, did Brother John's show? So what they're trying to do, Brother John runs his own community, and what they're trying to do is reach out and try and drag that community in again. And I saw Brother John stick his head up, so he might get involved. Terrible man. So this is a Daoist, right, joining in on a bullying campaign. So I don't have much respect for Daoism now at all. The Good Wolf, whoever you are, now Sydney knows exactly who it is. This is the silly games they play. I wasn't talking to you. F, you are arrogant. So he switched it around. Well, I'm not being arrogant. I'm just stating how I think about things. If you don't like it, use the block button and leave me in peace. Stop bullying me. Now, your book, tell F all, yes? Your book, tell. See, this is what I mean about fizzing. He's getting real sloppy, this dude. I said projecting to Sydney, because truth be known, Sydney is actually, what I would class as arrogant. I don't see myself as arrogant at all. I just simply state what I know. If you read it, you would be a good wolf. Yes, so I'm saying if you read the book, he'd learn something and it'd be beneficial for him. So we're just doing the me game again. Bezo can't handle the truth. Can too. Because, the enlightened person lives by the truth. And if you know any good people in your life, good mother, good father, family are going off. If you know good people in your life, saintly types of good people, you will know that they're very truthful and honest folks. It's just the way it works. It's nothing special. Everyone's got this stuff going on, just that they don't know. Projecting, so I'm just saying that and having a bit of a laugh at him. Please stand by for another live reading. So Sydney's saying, please stand by for another live reading of what is this thing called good. Well, thank you, Sydney. As long as I get a copy and then I can ghost it and then explain what you didn't understand, because that's what's going to happen. And I'll explain why you didn't understand it. So, Sydney, I really mean it when I say I know the end, and I do. Shit book by shithead, the irony. I said to Sydney, do the 5 corruptions. So in my book, one of the core parts of it is these 5 corruptions that occurred over history, which led to the religions that we know today, Christianity and Islam, being actually owned by empires. Christianity and Judaism. Islam is also owned by empires. And that's easy to understand because, Yeah, I've got a very simple explanation that explains that, I think, well. So all fail. Da, 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 da. Nope, all correct. You are a corruption. It's like a kid. Suppose you believe in God, woofy. Yeah, so my point there was I was trying to make a point to him that, you know, if you don't have some explanation like the corruptions, then you're left, the only conclusion you're left with is God has to be real. But if God's not real, then you've got to find a way to explain things through history. Well, that's what my book does. It explains why God's not a real thing. Do you consider yourself a guru, Rob? I ignored that point because he's just trying to suck me in. Sydney is doing the read. Night, boys, sleep peacefully. I did read the book. I'm a master at speed reading. All right, good on you, Sydney. Your second book was a repeat of your first book. Well, no, the second book was a short version, so just a condensed one, because I wanted to just give it to someone to focus on the Gospel of Thomas, because that's the true value proposition in the whole book. The interpretation of those sayings is what leads you towards enlightenment. Naughty trolls ringing home again. So that's the other thing that happens as part of this bullying. They ring the house here quite often, and that last phone call was from the trolls. How do we know? Because we can hear in the background, you know, my voice. So it's probably you, viewer number one, or someone else. A short edition for dummies, yeah. And then I talk about gaslighting. So I'm going to read this again. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse, right? So it's not a benign thing. It's quite a serious matter in which a victim is manipulated into doubting their own memory. Now, they haven't had a hope in hell of doing that with me. Perception and sanity. Instances may range from the denial by the abuser that previous abusive instances occurred. So in other words, they tell a lie about you to upset you, and then a couple of days down the track, they say, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't. That wasn't me." So the pattern is it's all about, you know, the bullies, right? Not the victim, but on the bully side, it's all about lies. And that's a lie is a delusion. So they have thoughts in their head that don't match reality, and then they broadcast those thoughts. So that's delusional. So the behavior is delusional, and it's lying. Ever occurred. So ranging to bizarre events by the abuser with the intention of disorienting. So staging of bizarre events, etc. And maybe that's what's happening down lower. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. Your second book was a repeat of your first book. Blah, blah, blah. Then I gave them Occam's razor. Among competing hypotheses, the one with the fewest assumptions should be selected. So in other words, no assumptions. Assumptions are beliefs, are unknowns about reality. They may be true, they may not be. So you want to eliminate assumptions and beliefs and all the rest. Stick with the truth and the evidence. Your second book, yeah, okay, yeah, preaching himself. No, you're gaslighting again. Yeah, you delusional boy. Your second book, yes, okay, yes. It was a short version focused on Jesus. That's true. Fizzy drinks, anyone? So I'm just, you know, keeping up to these guys and reminding them about these phenomena. So I'm predicting that, you know, certain behaviours are going to happen. And this fizzing, so he's at the fizzing stage now. That shouldn't lapse. He should keep fizzing as we go along from here. Or he'll run away. And that'll be that. And he'll just have to live with himself for the rest of his days. So notice how Fizzy gave up. Yeah, so that's a comment to a guy called Fizz. He came over to join the coalition, and for some reason, and he made a threat that he was going to sort me out. for some reason he hasn't come back. And so I'm saying smarter than you, doofus. I think that's true. We notice how you give up. You fail all the time. 3 years and going strong. So I never give up. You'll never meet a more, well, you meet plenty of determined people, but I am quite determined, particularly when it's an injustice. So I want the truth. So there's where that Sandra lady's not, why is she not showing up? That's really interesting. There's that lady called Sandra Woodrow. Was it Woodrow? Yeah. She came into the room. Now, I don't know this lady. I haven't met her before, so I was curious about her. I've since learned, yeah. Uh, 3 years of mental health issues. So, Bulldog, this is classic bullying, psychological bullying. Because what he expects is that I'll be embarrassed by that and go away. But, you know, I just react to the truth. What he doesn't discuss is his role in causing that issue. And it's not 3 years, too. So he's sort of made it look worse. And that's also what so this is delusional thinking again. In fact, it's 2 19-day stays, or 19 and I think a little bit less. I can't remember the second time. And that's all. The rest of the time I've been out at home. I do take the lithium medication. I didn't have to after the first time, but I just decided because I knew that it was a potential drama if you didn't. So I've taken that. So there's no problems at all in terms of my mental health, particularly now. I mean, if you consider the amount of abuse that I've taken from these people and the way that I conduct myself through all that abuse, it should be clear that I'm, you know, quite sane. But he says, and still mental. Sydney says hi to Sandra. Sandra, introduce yourself. Nope, stop bullying me. So the first comment was to Sandra because I'd not met her. I just wanted to know a little bit about her because I'm curious. And then I'm responding to Bulldog's comments. No, you know, about mental. And then I say, stop bullying me. You know, that's true because that's what he's doing. I wanted to make sure that this lady got another perspective. And so from those comments, you leave Sandra alone, you bad wolf. Asking someone to introduce themselves is not harmful in any way, and she doesn't have to, and she didn't. Then I say, it's a sadistic thing you do to internet users. You ask for an intro, just asking for an intro. So I'm just reminding Sydney that he's gaslighting again. Sydney, do you know Sandra? Now, odd question, but now we know that she comes from Canada. And he comes from Canada. And Lindsay comes from Canada. Jim Barrick called it. Give up, Bezo, you failed. Yeah, he's referring to something Jim Barrick said, which was really out of context. And Jim Barrick didn't have enough information to make the call that he did. I explained why he was wrong. He seemed to accept it, but then he talks about it later on. Strange bird, that one. Don't you dare disrespect women anymore. So, hang on a minute. You see, this is gaslighting again. And so I laughed at him. I just asked the lady for an intro. What Sydney did is take that and repurpose it and make it look like I'm harassing or showing disrespect to this lady. Jim, yeah, repeating yourself. Yes, I know, Sandra. Good. That makes sense now, Sydney. I love all humanity, Sydney. Don't laugh it off, Bezo. Yeah, I know what he's doing there. Got to go now, gaslighters. Now, this is the interesting stuff, right? This is the reason I put it together. Bulldog comes out of the blue and he says, remember fight night? and I've got no idea what he's talking about, so I ignored it. But I want it on record, and I'll tell Sandra and all the rest of it. My family is here for a birthday party, so I'm just letting you know, and they're here, and I've got to get going, actually. The Good Wolf, you should leave the internet for good. Now, that's Sydney, because basically he's near the end where he's ready to... He just wants me gone, because I'm just, they're not able to dominate or bully me because they've lost. So this is what I mean. This is the stage of the process that we're actually at. So he says fight night again, so I don't know what the hell he's on about. Are you a god, Sydney? Asking me. All right, I'm coming. Are you a god, Sydney? Lol, yes. No teeth. I don't have uppers. He is. What is the fight night reference mean, bully dog? So I'm just saying, give us some clarification. Yeah, silly stuff. Don't play dumb. Well, no, I don't. I haven't got a clue at the minute. But, if it was a real event, I'll remember it. Hang on, guys. Sydney, man. Oops. Play dumb is your best boozer, blah, blah, blah. Trolling you gracefully. Yeah, right. Thank you, Lord. Hang on, love. I won't be long. The Good Wolf will wake up in the morning with a new outlook on life. The Good Wolf will have raven brain. That's Sydney. So again, I don't know what they're on about here, but is it sadistic? Now then he says, remember the 9 rules of the earth. So I'm interested in that. I'd like to know what he's talking about. But again, a bit bizarre. And then Brother John appears somewhere. Brother John joins the feast, and as soon as that comment's made, bang, he's gone. Daoist coward. Then I said, TikTok, Sydney, TikTok, and that's a reference to, time short, Sydney, you only get one life. Make sure that you live a good life. And then this guy here puts up Leyland Brothers. Ask the Leyland Brothers. So I don't know what the heck he's on about or what stuff he's smoking. And then I said, Sydney, what are the 9 rules of the earth? And, if I get to speak to Sydney, I'll follow that up. I'm curious about that. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for joining in. One viewer and no more phone calls, please. Sandra? Oh, hang on. Yeah, you'll just go. Good night.